Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the presentation of this seminar offered by the Department of Architectural Theory and Philosophy of Techniques. My name is Lorenzo Vicari. I am an architect and a researcher and a PhD candidate at ATTP. With those students who are going to take part to this seminar, we're going to focus, walk through, and think about a book published in 2008 by Peter Eisenman. The book is called 10 Canonical Buildings, and it is composed by an introduction and 10 chapters. Every chapter is about one of the 10 canonical buildings suggested by the title. In the introduction, Eisenman defines, let's say, a shift from the classical definition of the term canon by calling it canonical. And this shift will be for us one of the main, let's say, axes of research of the course. We will try to understand what this shift means and to what extent we can agree or disagree with the very reasons of such a shift. So as the title evokes, Eisenman chose 10 buildings, each one composing one chapter, and he analyzed them with formal and textual close readings. Also using narrative and descriptive drawings, texts and diagrammatic drawings, which are able to depict, according to Eisenman, the idea of each building and to highlight the architectonic principles at its core. So we will reflect on the canonical by going across some of Eisenman's most important texts, but also by reading other texts that in a way or another deal with the notion of the canon and of principles in architecture. So we are going through and beyond the reading of 10 canonical buildings, and in this way we will think about the canon as a canon of principle. So to say, as an act of learning to think, to talk, to draw, to write about architecture. In this sense, we will not look at the canon from an historical point of view, but rather, on the contrary, we will consider the canon for its capacity, let's say, to articulate in manifold ways something that we can call invariant, and so something that can be called architectonic. Each student will embrace Eisenman's gestuality and will somehow repeat the exercise put forward by 10 canonical buildings. So each student will choose and work on one singular building in order to canonize it. Week by week, we will raise up rhetorical arguments of both apologies and accusations towards Eisenman's book through singular exercises that will be convivially discussed in class. And in parallel, through the singular study of one building by each of you, we will on the one hand compose a glossary of the canon, and on the other we will compose, let's say, a compendium of other possible canonical buildings in order to extend, enlarge, and somehow gone with the canon given by Eisenman. So the seminar is called On and Off Peter Eisenman's 10 Canonical Buildings because it will mostly spin around the notion of the canon and canonical and the method of close reading in architecture, which are both central to in Eisenman's book, but also we will enlarge, as we said, and rethink and somehow put into question Eisenman's definition of the canonical. So from week to week there will be pre-recorded lectures to be watched before each weekly meeting. These lectures will depict a spectrum of Eisenman's intellectual and theoretical approach to architecture from his very first work, The Formal Basis of Modern Architecture, to 10 Canonical Buildings through other texts. We will respect the linearity of the structure of 10 canonical buildings by addressing chapter by chapter week after week. In class, we will close read and comment weekly exercises that are going to be given to you through singular small presentations and convivial critiques. Once again, each of you will choose and work on a singular building, and week by week we will compose a compendium of other possible canonical buildings. Of course, you can find more detailed information on the website, and for the moment I thank you and I hope to see many of you at the seminar. Bye.